Now, Jason, we got to talk a little bit about slumps. And I don't think there is any shortage of people that have had difficulties over the last few months with our situation. What are some of the keys to get out of a slump, avoid a slump, correct a slump? Give us your perspective on that.
In pre-pandemic or non-pandemic, non-recession era times, what I've seen is that slumps are caused by somebody going into a mode where they break all of the basic sales fundamental rules. So they become an expert and a pro in their mind. They think they know everything. And so their conversations shift from questions and empathy and discovering, and then trying to actually help that individual with their own individual situation, to they're the expert. And so it's about monologues. It's about lots of over talking, lots of over explaining, long speeches, and just assuming that everybody would want what they have without making it personal or caring. And so I've seen that where the slumps happen when somebody just gets into this sales mode. Instead of doing the right ratio in the conversation, they break the rules. So, like my grandma used to always say, we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. So listen twice as much as you talk. And slumps generally happen when a salesperson is talking twice as much as they listen. So if you listen to a recording and you track the minutes of each party speaking, you'll notice that sales reps generally in a slump are talking way too much, 70, 80, 90% of the time sometimes. So the best way to avoid that or correct it is to go back to the basics. If you have a script, go back to your script. I used to do that all the time. I would find the script out of the drawer, hidden under all the snacks and all the garbage in their desk, put it back on their desk, and they would instantly go back to closing sales because it just get them back on track. And so when in doubt, if you're in a slump, ask more questions. That's it. There's one thing, just ask more questions and let the other person talk more.
Excellent. Here's the other thing too, and we teach this in negotiation, which is if you only have one deal in your pipeline and you need to close that deal to hit your number or hit your quota, or it's a significant deal and you don't have a bunch of other deals in the pipeline, you start pushing too hard on that one deal. And buyers sense when a seller is pushing too hard, and their trust factor begins to lower. And you get that if you go buy a car, for example. I mean, the industry is notorious for this: buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. Sometimes it works, but oftentimes it pushes people away. Another way if you're in a slump, is how big is your front end pipeline? How many new people are you talking to, so that you're not depending on one deal? Because people sense when you're pushing. People sense when you're trying to get that deal done and push, and you over follow up. Now, let's talk about follow up and virtual selling. Obviously, just about everybody listening to this right now has had significant impact with the current situation, meaning we can't do our typical routine, which is get on the road, go out and see people, sit in the lobby, have the face-to-face, have the lunches, have the coffees, which is how a lot of sellers have sold historically. Now it's online. Now it's WebEx or whatever your company's using, GoToMeeting or Zoom or Teams. There's so many different things. But what have you seen in your experience in working with companies where companies made a shift and it's working? What was the shift and how is it working?
I think one of the biggest things is to make the shift from, this is the way we've always done it. We need to go visit people in person and sit in their lobby, or we need to go to a trade show and have a booth or walk around and meet people, which are great strategies. I mean, I love those. But shifting to, let's instead be empathetic and understanding of where our prospects are and meet them where they are, not where we want them to be. Which means some of your prospective customers might be, attainable via email. Some might be on Facebook. Some might be on LinkedIn. Some might like SMS. And so it's about finding where they want to be and meeting them. That's a really good sales and customer experience strategy anyway, which is, instead of trying to force everyone through your one strategy, meet them where they are and then have the conversation from there.